All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I believe. All right. Are we live? I believe we are live. If we are, welcome. And if you're just tuning in after the live stream is over, in today's live stream, I'm going to be doing a full trailer breakdown analysis on YouTube, obviously. And I'll probably go through it once or twice, maybe 3 times, depending on how good the stream is going and everything and how many theories we come up with. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the stream. And this is my first YouTube stream in over a year, I believe. So I'm pretty excited. How's everybody doing, guys? What up, Jesse, Tony, Trick, Tix, how we doing? What up, what up, what up, what up, Mega Mind? What up, Reticle? How we doing? How's everybody doing? All right, today, guys, like I was just saying, we are going to break down the trailer. We're going to break down the trailer. Uzi, what up? Audie, how we doing? And I'm going to give you guys my full analysis. I've already done a few breakdowns. Obviously, I have a video on my channel with a breakdown, and you can watch that if you want. But I think the more I break it down, the more stuff I'm going to have to say about it. By the way, is the audio good and everything? Everything sounds good? Hopefully. What up, Sai from India? How's it going? What up, Manolo? What up, Shadow? What up, Simply? Matt? Elizabeth? What up, what up, what up? We'll get into all the ships and everything. I'm going to be giving my opinions on that as well. I'm going to also, at some point in this video, I'm going to try to give my immediate reaction predictions of who's going to die based off this trailer. What up, buddies? What up, Caleb? And yeah, 11 can fly. That's pretty nuts. I mean, let's just be honest. That's pretty incredible. Guys, before we get into the breakdown, make sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help support the performance and everything, so I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it and break this down. Obviously, I'm not going to show any volume because I don't want to get copyrighted. This is purely just an analysis, breakdown, and commentary. So yeah. Okay, I'm pretty freaking excited if you can tell. I already did an hour breakdown on TikTok. I did an hour breakdown for my YouTube video. And now I'm at least going to do another hour in this stream. So let's do it. Your theory was correct. Wait, which theory? Oh, 11 can fly? Yeah. Well, that was kind of a gimme. What up, Rose? What up, Landon? All right, let's go. So to start off the entire teaser, it shows us Joe Keery, aka Steve Harrington, and he is in this van. By the way, it looks incredible. Looks like he's 20 and he's what, 34, and he's turning this antenna on the van. Now, the first thing that popped up in my mind when I seen this frame is, first of all, it looks incredible. This just looks incredible. This looks like, you know, it just screams 1980s nostalgia, and it just hits you right in the heart. Hits you right in the feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just an incredible shot. But the one thing I wanted to point out with this scene is that it sort of looks like, you know, because he's not just staying in the van for no reason, right? I would assume he is preparing the van to take out and have a mobile station for 11 to use her powers, or like to do something, right? Because why would he just be using the van when the radio station's right here, right? So I'm assuming this is Steve like preparing the van to put out a signal somewhere or something. You know what I'm saying? It kind of looks like that's what he's doing. So I thought that was pretty interesting to point out. We'll get into all the Vecna stuff as well. So that's the first scene. Not too much to dive in, but that was my 2 cents with that. But yeah. So Steve obviously looks amazing. This was really cool how they did that throughout the entire trailer, the radio volume going up. All right. And yeah, I was right. I don't know why. Yeah, so they did drive the van away. I'm assuming Steve's in that, and then that's Lucas, and that looks like Mike. Not positive. Obviously, that's 11 watching him. Okay. This is also very interesting as well, because we got Nancy here, Nancy and Robin. That duo is going to be together again. That duo is awesome. And then we got 11 and Will. I hope we see a lot more of 11 and Will. I feel like well, especially if Will has powers, which obviously we all hope he does. You know, at least I hope he does. But if Will has powers, him and 11 need to be together as much as humanly possible if they want to have any chances of doing this successfully. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. 11 Will, and then this is another thing I wanted to point out. So in this scene right here, obviously Joyce is on the radio talking to Mike, and Mike is saying like the burn is commencing in 5, 4, whatever, you know, he's like counting down. I think that is a very clear sign of Mike Wheeler going back to his roots of being the decision maker, being the leader, being the guy who's not afraid to sacrifice his life, being the guy who just leads the group, makes plans, takes action, takes control of situations, you know, is not afraid to get his hands dirty like he was in season 1. Because for the last 3 seasons, we saw Mike consistently go downhill as a character, in my opinion. I feel like most of you guys would agree. But in this trailer and in the teaser we got in Netflix Sudden, it kind of feels like Mike is like back on his A game. You know, it kind of feels like we got OG Mike back. You know, that's what it feels like to me anyway. I don't know if that feels like to you, what it feels like to you, but to me, that's what it feels like. So whenever Mike was talking to Joyce, I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is Mike getting back to his roots. Like, I really, really like that vibe. And he looks incredible, by the way. Finn Wolfhard looks incredible. He looks pretty freaking cool, in my opinion. Like, his character development, I think, is going to be really good. All right, moving on. Nancy looks a lot different. I think it might be her hair. That's what someone noticed. But yeah, she looks a lot different. She still looks incredible, obviously. And so does Robin. Will in 11 again. Will looks like he's... this entire trailer, Will just constantly looks like he's going through it, which I think is hilarious. In a bad way, I guess. But like, it looks like he's going through it the entire time. Like, there's not one moment in this trailer where Will looks normal. Not even one moment. Like, it constantly looks like he is fighting for his life mentally and physically. And then this scene right here, dude, this reminds me of when Luke, well, obviously it's like a parallel, whatever. But whenever Lucas was spying on Hawkins' lab, you know, back in season 1, using the binoculars, like, this is nostalgia to me. This is like a lot of nostalgia. He even has his camo bandana and everything, dude. Like, that is insane. That is such a throwback. Very cool throwback. So that was really cool. And then I'm still trying to figure out if this is just like one of those, I don't know. I would say this is a bunker, right? Underground bunker, potentially, of like people in Hawkins. Is that Erica? Probably not. But anyways, I think this is an underground bunker, but obviously we don't know. And they do zoom in on a few kids. I doubt they have any relevancy, but it is interesting how they zoom in on 2 specific kids. Hopper just looks incredible. Okay. This is the scene that I made a video on that I think is very relevant. And so obviously right here we see Robin, eyes open. 11, eyes open. Nancy, eyes opened. Look at Will. What do you notice about Will? He does not have his eyes open. And in fact, he's just standing there awkwardly, getting possessed in front of these people right here that are just looking around, acting normal. But Will is not acting normal whatsoever. In fact, it looks like he's in trouble. So, and this is the scene where he passes out too. I'm going to connect those 2 dots. So just screenshot this image in your head where Will is standing like this. And then later on in the breakdown, I'm going to show you like this is where he passes out. Okay. So just photographic memory, remember this shot. And we'll circle back to, it'll make a lot more sense. But he is not normal in that frame. And then it cuts to him like getting goosebumps again, which is just insane. I wonder where this is at, by the way. This kind of looks like by the school with those windows. Maybe outside of the hospital, visiting Max. Huh. The volume again. This November. The music, dude, the music and all the scenes and everything combining into this trailer to make it what it is was just incredible. What up, Yusuf? How we doing? I think he passes out or he faints. Either way, like he falls over, you know? So it's one of the 2. Guys, if you haven't already dropped a like, would really appreciate it. If we could hit 50 likes on the video, that would be incredible. Okay, let's get into it. This November. And then we get this just cinematic shot. The The shots of this trailer were just incredible. I mean, you have, I believe this is Mike, Will, and I think that was Lucas. I don't know who that is, but it's Mike, Will, and someone else. And and the helicopters flying in the background, the military trucks. It's just like, it's awesome. Oh, it's Holly. Okay. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, because Mike, Will, and Holly were together at the military place as well. Yeah, it's just hard for me to, I don't know. I can't even see that. My eyes are bad. All right. Another beautiful shot. Another just cinematic masterpiece of a shot here of the military. The one thing I want to point out about the military, and we'll get to a better view, but like the fact that they have the library guarded up and they just have the gate wide open for anything to just walk through, and they think their rifles are going to stop, you know, some supernatural alternate dimension monster just walking through them and obliterating all of them. It's just absolutely ridiculous in my mind. Obviously they don't know, but you would think they'd have some sort of idea like, oh, this is scary, and a gate and some metal and some weaponry is not going to stop something that's not human and doesn't die from just a few bullets. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was like this right here. Like, what are they doing, bro? What are you guys? How are these gonna stop Vecna? Bro is like a psychic monster who has powers with his mind, and who knows what other powers Vecna has. But like, you know, Vecna has survived how many Nancy gunshots, you know, and all this stuff, and they just think he's gonna fall down from that, you know. But they obviously just don't know any better, so it makes sense. But very cool scene. And then this is just like automatic depression, you know. Like I feel like they made this scene like, okay, we have to have a scene where literally every single person who watches the show at this time is crying at the same exact time. You know, I feel like they had to have a scene like that. Not only is it Eddie's grave, but like it's vandalized and everything, and clearly like Dustin probably got bullied over it for being his friend. And then he's just sitting here like depressed, you know. I mean, that is just, oh God, I feel for the kid, man. I feel for the kid. He just goes through it. He just goes through this entire trailer, honestly. We saw this same exact shot in the Netflix Totem teaser. We didn't see this stuff though, I don't think. And like Lucas crying, that's sad. Yo, thank you, Max. Wait, look at Lucas's shirt. Lucas does have blood on his shirt at one point. We'll stop at that scene. Okay, I mentioned this in on my TikTok stream, but I think this is in the Hawkins lab where Joyce and Hopper originally went in the Upside Down to go find Will. I'm not positive with that. But it does seem like that, you know, with the metal and everything. It seems like they're in a building. I guess it's either that. It's either that or it's at the military, like where the library is. This is either the library or it's in Hawkins' lab. That's my assumption. I don't know where else it could be, but they're burning some sort of gate. I think this is the Upside Down. I think in there is the Upside Down. It has to be, right? That's where the tunnels meet up? Okay. It's Hawkins' library? Well, whatever it is, they're trying to burn it. So they're about to F around and find out, dude. They're about to F around and find out. Your video is honestly so entertaining. Thank you, Reborn. That means a lot. I really do appreciate all the support of my channel, guys. It means a ton. I love this show. I love breaking down theories and TV, and it's just my favorite thing to do. So I really do appreciate the support. Okay, now we can get to talking about the ships. I'm going to give you my entire opinion about them, and I'm just telling you, I don't know if my opinions are a fact for sure, but I am 99.9% sure they are a fact as far as these ships go, okay? Obviously, we all knew Joyce and Hopper were going to stay together, and they look incredible together. I love Hopper's long hair and beard. I think that's a perfect way to end off his character's arc, personally. This is such a cool shot. And I'm excited to see these four go on some intense mission. And this is where I think, you know how in the Netflix Totem teaser we saw Steve and Dustin like standing in that one spot. It looked like to be in the pool, and they were like looking up at something, and Dustin had that blood in his eyes like he does right there. I think that's where this happens. Like they go in there in Hawkins' lab on a mission, and that's where Steve and Dustin have that shot, you know? So they're going to find something in the Hawkins lab. They're going to find something that is either going to help them or hurt them or whatever. They're going to find something, obviously. They're not there for no reason. So yeah. And Tao was from the lab. Yeah, so this is like before they go into the lab. Because there's the lab, and that looks incredible, dude. Like, that just looks... Oh my god, it looks so good. Can't get enough. I can't get enough of this freaking trailer, dude. Okay. And this is just incredible. Favorite side character? Well, it was Eddie. What you thought on Elle's flying? We're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. I really did love this scene. I think this just, you know, hands in, one last run. If we die, we die, but, you know, F it. We had fun type moment. I think that's really cool. And by the way, I do think this map is very interesting. This seems to be a map of Hawkins, right? Like Stony Brook, Outwood. Like these are neighborhoods. So they're planning something here. And that kind of reminds me again of, I think that's a neighborhood. That kind of reminds me again of, oh, is it a D&D map? Regardless of what it is, it reminds me of Mike Wheeler, like in the beginning stages, you know, making those leadership moments, like having those leadership moments. It kind of seems like he's going to be the one to bring out this map and, you know, say, hey, let's game plan here. Let's do this. And he's going to take that leadership role once again. I've been waiting for that for so freaking long, dude. I want Mike to have that moment. I want Mike to realize that he is, he is amazing, you know? So he needs to like reach his full potential. I think those are Eddie's rings. That is just so much more depressing now that we think about it. I wonder if Dustin will get like the same tattoos and everything. That'll be also interesting to see. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. I'm going to be unbiased as possible. This 1000%, this is my opinion, by the way, this isn't a fact, but this, in my opinion, 1000% confirms Mike and Eleven staying together and being an end game in season 5. Okay. I don't think that's an opinion. I think that's a fact, but I'm going to call it an opinion just in case, you know. I think it automatically confirms them being together in season 5. And if you look at this picture, what do you notice? Hold on, let me show you what I notice. Someone actually pointed this out to me. Okay? See this? Well, would you look at that? Would you look at that? They just told us what the ship is going to be, okay? This isn't, like, there's no... Someone, like, screenshotted Mike's face right here and it's like, oh, this is where he tells Eleven he's gay. Like, what are we talking about? They just told us via scenes that these two are going to stay together and they love each other, okay? That is what this is happening. That's not the only thing I noticed from the scene, by the way. And by the way, I have no problem if you think Byler's still going to happen. Like, you can think whatever you want to think, okay? There's freedom of thinking, okay? That's the beauty of our brains. But yeah, beautiful shot, beautiful scene, great everything, right? One thing I did notice about this, though, is that, first of all, Mike looks a lot older. But what does she look like? She literally looks like a superhero. She literally is dressed like a superhero, looks like a superhero. I mean, all the above. She's literally like in a superhero outfit. I know that's like a wetsuit, right? Because she's going into the tub or whatever. But it's still like, she does look like a superhero right there. I think that's really cool. All right, moving on. But yeah, I think that confirms 11 happening. That's my opinion. And I did want that to happen, so that's a W on for me, on my end. And then this confirms Nancy and Jonathan being together. I feel like we knew Nancy and Jonathan were going to stay together. Obviously, we knew Joyce and Hopper were going to stay together. I think we got confirmation that Mike and Eleven will also be together. And throughout this entire trailer, similar to Will but in a different way, Nancy sort of seems depressed, sad, disheveled, scared, frightened, brave, confident. All of the above. Like she just seems so out of sorts almost, but in like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like she just looks terrified in everything. So yeah, that's kind of making me concerned for her character personally. And we'll get to the scene where she's washing her hands off. Like that was, another cool scene. I believe this was in the teaser, or we got like a behind the scenes footage of this once. Yeah, she looks traumatized, like for real traumatized. That's a good point. Very cool scene right there. The final chapter. I just realized the first scenes were probably from like the first like 3 episodes. The second part of this trailer is probably from the second 3 episodes, and then the last part is probably from the finale, right? I just realized that. I didn't even put that together. Now I kind of want to go back and watch it again, just like... All right, whatever. We got to talk about this shit. Oh, this poop. My bad, YouTube. All right. First off, a few things to note here. I want to get that out again, so I can draw. I believe this is young Will Byers. I believe, I think this is young Will Byers running away from the Demogorgon in season 1. I think this is a flashback. I'll elaborate more later on. But I think this is young Will Byers escaping the Demogorgon in Stranger Things season 1. And this is going to be like a flashback explaining how he survived in the Upside Down. And I feel like we do need that explanation. I feel like we do deserve that explanation, obviously. So that's what I think this scene is. It's an amazing scene. But let me just put something into perspective. So one thing that we know for a fact is that this guy right here, this Demogorgon, this is his height right here, right? He's kind of scrunched down, but what we know is that this Demogorgon is 9 feet. He is 9 feet tall. So what does that tell us about the tree? It doesn't even show us the whole tree, but I'm assuming this goes down at least another, 6 feet at least, out of frame. So we're talking, this is 15 feet minimum right here. 15 feet. So then what is the entire tree? Is that 30 feet? Okay. Is that a 30-foot tree? And then if that's a 30-foot tree, if this entire thing's a 30-foot tree, then what is this jump? Are you kidding me? Like, when the Demogorgon reaches out his arm, it like goes to like here. And his arm, his wingspan, one of his arms is probably like 6 feet, So I'm assuming this is like at least, I would have to assume a 20, 25 foot jump, a 20 to 25 foot jump from here to here. So are you telling me that a human, especially a child, he looks young, if this is a young Will Byers, whoever it is, in my opinion, there's no way a human is capable of this physical ability, especially at the age and the size that this human is, to make that jump of 20 to 25 feet. So, in my opinion, that means that this guy, Will Byers, he has powers. Has to. If he made that jump, he has to have powers. Like, there's no way that is capable of natural, of just natural ability. Bro just did more math in Stranger Things trailer than he did in his entire high school career. It's worth it. It's worth it for sure. But yeah, I think that he has powers in the upside down only, though. I think he has powers in the upside down only, and it's gonna show us that. And I do think that is Will. We got a. Let me show you guys this again. This is a behind the scenes picture we got from Netflix. Like, this wasn't like leaked. This was from Netflix in one of the behind the scenes videos. And this looks like the same tree that is right here. And that is Will. So I do believe that is a young Will Byers. And that is him escaping the Demogorgon, which is pretty freaking cool. All right, moving on. Like, see how far his arm reaches? It's not even that far. And he makes that jump, right? Almost. Either way, he's literally like flying. And how did he climb that tree all the way up there? Unless he was like hiding up there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's so confusing. I just feel like that's not capable for... By the way, that scene is just... With the lightning in the background, are you kidding me? Incredible. Okay, so one thing I wanted to point out about this scene, let me get a drink of water real quick. Guys, if you haven't already dropped a like on the stream, would really appreciate it. We're almost at 100 likes. We're at 62 right now. Only, quick math, 38 likes until we hit 100 likes. Okay. Ted is Vecna, imagine. All right. So, this guy. This is Alex Bro. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he is a French actor, so I do not know how to pronounce his name. It's this guy right here. This guy was announced at the same time Linda Hamilton was announced to be in Stranger Things Season 5. This guy. And that's him right here. So, and behind him is obviously Linda. So my prediction is that this guy is Linda's right-hand man, and he's gonna have like more lines than other military members. That's my prediction, at least. Obviously, I don't know that. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. So we know his role. Alex Burroy. I still don't know if I pronounced that right. Anyways, his name's Alex. He seems like a cool dude. Moving on. Yeah, Linda, who was in all the Terminator movies. Just legendary. That's so cool. Like, her character is gonna be terrifying, I feel like. You think Sullivan and Linda work together? Honestly, I don't know. If she's a bad character for sure, like if she's not on Eleven's side, I think she's in charge of Sullivan. Like, I think she's on the hierarchy. Could be linked with Owens, yeah. Who knows? This scene is confirming that Eleven and Hopper were indeed the ones to be looking at the wall in the trailer. Like, they are right there. So they go in the upside down and find this together. And we still don't know what this freaking thing is right there. Incredible shot. Begins. Now, I've gone back and forth with this like 10 times. To me, this looks like water. It just looks like water, okay? But like, they're not in a lake, you know. I feel like this is where, so we know how we talked about like where Steve and Dustin were in the lab or whatever on the tile in the pool or whatever it kind of looked like. I think this is where, when they were lining up, like Steve, Dustin, Nancy, Jonathan looking at the lab, I think this is where Nancy and Jonathan go when they go in the lab, and this is what they find in the lab. That's what I think. I mean, obviously it seems like a new gate that's forming, but we've never really seen anything like this. I mean, the way it's moving and the way it's forming and the way it looks, that's incredible. Could be a ripped opening. Yeah, it could be a lot of things, honestly. Wow, we are 1 like away from 100 likes. Thank you guys so much. Holy crap. How's everybody doing, guys? Appreciate all the love and support. Thank you. Could be a Watergate. I don't know. Looks incredible, though. And this, Dustin does not see something that he likes here. He sees something that he does not like. I mean, and what happened to his eyes, bro? Like, I feel like maybe he had like goggles on and he got punched or something. Or glasses. He got punched at school. He got beat up. Could be a possibility. They're not even going to be at school, though, right? No way. 128 likes. Oh, my God. Thank you, guys. Holy crap. Y'all are crazy. Thank you, Angelin. Okay, so Dustin sees something that he does not like, for sure. And Steve has that face where he's like, all right, bro, what did you see? Tell me. He's probably going to grab the binoculars from Dustin right now. Okay. And we got to talk about this, man. Yeah, that's what I was referring to, KRP. So, this is a demo dog. What if it's Dart? I'll get to that. But this is a demo dog. Okay? 2 of them. Wait, is that a... Yeah, that's also a demo dog. Here is the same demo dog. And here... What up, TikToks? How we doing? And here is the same girl who died in season 4, got brought back to life, got put in a coma, got out of the coma somehow, is probably still asleep, and Lucas is holding her, or she's like very, very sick and can hardly like breathe. And as soon as she gets out of the hospital bed after who knows how much time, it could be months, could be weeks, could be a year, I don't know, she gets stalked or attacked by a damn demo dog. So you're telling me after everything she's been through, when she's not even conscious, it looks like, she has to deal with a demo dog. Now, the cool thing about this is that obviously this isn't going to be where they die, I don't think. I would assume someone's going to be behind that door. Like, this could be where Eleven and Hopper are and they come and save the day or something and like they distract him. Or this could be like, I did mention, like, what if this demo dog is Dart and he recognizes these guys and he just like distracts his demo dog friends and they run away? I think that would be really cool, like a throwback to season 2. I don't think so, obviously, but that would be cool. Yeah, I think this is Vicky as well. Red hair. Looks like she was working like cafeteria maybe or something. But yeah, that kind of looks like Vicky. Wait, this could be the hospital and Vicky was working at the hospital. And that's why Max is there. Huh. That probably is at the hospital. Interesting. All right. We saw this scene, obviously. And these guys are like shooting for no reason, wasting their bullets, risking their lives for no reason, because they're all going to die. Okay, so Max moved Tunnel Hospital. This scene right here is after. So the scene that's before this is actually after this in the trailer, but this is after Hopper throws those 2 grenades. I'll show you the scene. Just take a picture of this in your mind, and we'll circle back. But he's covering 11 because 11's hurt. She's not dead or anything. She's just hurt because she was moving in the frame. I'll explain it later. But yeah, that's Hopper protecting his daughter, which is I'm not ready for any of this. Emotionally, I might be, I might be a grown ass man, but emotionally, I'm not ready for any of this. Ethan, what up, dude? How we doing? I don't think she's shot. I think she's out of power. I think she's just drained. Steve driving, that's going to be so cool. I'm probably going to cry watching this. If I don't cry watching this, it'll be a miracle. What up, Carrot? How we doing? I'm not afraid to admit that. Their mirror gets cut off. This is them driving through a gate, by the way, which is just incredible. This is the same scene we saw in the teaser, but instead of the gate just rattling, it shows a Demogorgon behind the gate. So my question is, unless Will, Erica, Robin, or Joyce, or Derek, who is mysteriously just standing up there, has powers, is there any possible way they survive this? Like, Joyce and her axe aren't going to do anything against the Demogorgon, right? So, like, what are they going to do against this? That's my question. Yo, thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. What are they going to... How are they going to... What are the... You know, what is the option here? How are they going to survive this? It just doesn't even make any sense. Yo, thank you, MSW. I love that theory so much. Hopper killed one of the swords, so why can't she? Well, I'd say Hopper has some pretty obvious physical advantages, you know, compared to Joyce. But, you know, who am I to underestimate her? Maybe she just goes in here and chops the Demogorgon's head off with an axe. Will debuts his powers? That would be freaking sick. I would love that. Or Derek. Like, Derek just has powers. All right. So, this is what I was talking about when I said take a screenshot of that scene where Will's eyes were, like, rolling back and he was just standing there, and Eleven, Robin, and Nancy were all looking around. That's the scene. Like, this is the scene where he faints. It's the same room, everything. So this is where he faints when the lights is flickering and everything. That's where he faints. So he's having trouble, like, staying conscious with all these all this sensitivity, like, taking over his body. It's so weird. He also hits his head there, which is scary. Nancy with the shotgun is just so cool. So cool. So unbelievably cool. Hey, I'm a grown man too who's gonna cry. Hey, at least we're together. At least we're, you know, on the same page. Okay. I think that this is where Murray dies, okay? Because we know Murray works for Bradley's, or he, like, impersonates himself working for Bradley's, and this is the Bradley's truck. And the Demogorgon jumps on this truck, right? So I think this is where Murray dies, personally. I'm not positive, but I would like to put those two and two together. Now, this is another scene where I'm going to be, like, biting my nails and just skiddished out. Like, I'm not going to want to watch this, bro. This is going to give me way too much anxiety. Just looking at the scene gives me too much anxiety. But Karen is holding her baby child, obviously, like her youngest child, in the bathtub underwater to, I'm assuming, to suppress their sound and scent from whatever is stalking them in their house, which is either Demodog, Demogorgon, or Vecna, or something else that's even more scary. So that's terrifying. That is terrifying. Okay. Okay, hear me out. The burn is then preparing Will for the pain because he is still connected to the hive mind, and then he passes out in the radio station. That would be interesting. That might be a theory I make, honestly. Karen's going to die sacrificing herself. I tend to believe that as well. I tend to lean that way as well. This is just one of those other scenes where it's like, oh my God. It just... That has to be the Mind Flayer. That has to be the Mind Flayer. If that's not the Mind Flayer, I couldn't possibly tell you what it is. Like, honestly. It's like the same thing that entered Will's body back in season... Back in season 2, episode 4. So, No Way Home vibes is crazy. Yeah, kind of, though, low-key. But that's the Mind Flayer, dude. And it's in what I think it's doing right there is obviously, like, Robin's probably outside of the radio station right there, and people are probably inside the radio station, and the Mind Flayer is covering that antenna, probably trying to cut the signal. So whatever they're trying to do with the signal in the radio station is not working because the Mind Flayer is out in the real world now and is cutting off the signal. So maybe it messes with Will, or messes with Eleven, or messes with their plan, messes with Steve and his van, whatever it is, because this is the antenna that probably powers the entire town. So the Mind Flayer is just like, okay, we'll just cut it off. You know, it kind of looks like that's what it's doing. Or it's going to, like, destroy the tower. Does the tower fall here? No. So yeah, it's probably just cutting off the signal right there. Is Stranger Things your favorite show? Yeah, I would say it's safe to assume that, pal. I would say that's safe to assume. This is just... So someone did mention that this is Nancy's blood. Like her feet were bleeding, or like her leg or something. Which I guess is possible, but to me, this is clearly setting up her grieving someone dying and her washing her hands after she held someone in her hand while they died, you know? I feel like that's pretty obvious. Washing off Lucas's blood, I doubt it. I'd say if she's washing up someone else's blood, it's either Holly, Karen, or Jonathan's. Or Steve's. Damn, that would be sad. That would be sad. I think it's someone she has to either has been in love with, is in love with, or one of her family members. Or Ted. Like, it has to be someone she's connected with in a deep way, personally, if it's someone else's blood. Could be Robin. Could be Robin. Hopefully it's not Robin. Hopefully it's just Ted. Just Ted, you can go, dude. Hopefully it's not anybody that important. Isn't she volunteering at the hospital? Is she? She might be. Mike. It could be Mike, yeah. Anybody in her family. But she's definitely grieving over something here. It's not just her like crying over pain, right? That's definitely like, oh my God, something bad just happened and I'm washing off blood. You know, that's what I'm seeing. This is a scene where I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I have a few questions about this. Number one, where is he? It looks like he's in a room. It looks like he's either sweating profusely, was just in water, and he's crying. And it looks like he passes out again, right? Yeah, he passes out again. Like, what is going on in the scene? Is he getting the stuff burned out of him again? Is he piggybacking? Like, I don't know. But this is like another scene where I'm looking at Will and I'm like, oh my God, is he gonna just, like, every single scene I'm seeing of Will, it's just him suffering and being traumatized and dealing with everything he's been dealing with for 4 seasons now. Like, I am beyond terrified for Will's character. Like, I think it is very, very, very possible that he dies. For what it is they're showing in these trailers and stuff. Oh, and this scene. Oh my God. I cannot do this. Dustin crying in Steve's arms. Are you kidding me? Oh, God. Look at Steve's concern. I wonder when this is after. Is this like Dustin crying about Eddie or something? Like, that is so depressing. Ugh. I'm not ready to see what that scene is about. Or someone just died and Dustin's... Oh, my God. And Steve's, like, consoling him. Oh, my God. This duo... Let me try to think. In my humble opinion, is going to end up being the greatest duo in the history of television after season 5. That's the bottom line. That is my hot take going into season 5. I think this duo will go down as the best duo in the history of television. And it's probably going to have the saddest ending as well. Let's not even get into that. Let's not even begin to mention that is even a possibility of happening. Guys, after I'm done breaking it down, I'm going to go through a lot of your comments. So save your theories and comments for like in 10 or 20 minutes or so after I'm done with this. And it won't be that long. Let's end this, kid. That's such a cool scene. And he looks so freaking good, bro. Wait. Dude. I didn't even notice that. That's like the helmet, right? That's the helmet for her to go underwater? Or no? One in the chat of it is, 2 in the chat of it isn't. Like, what am I looking at here? I'm pretty sure that's the helmet where she goes underwater. I did not notice that, bro. That is crazy, because in this next scene, it just shows her floating without the helmet. Or maybe this is like, okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, maybe this is like when she gets into her vision. All right. Guys, make sure to drop a like. We're almost at 200 likes on the stream. Would really do appreciate all this love and support in this stream, guys. It means the world. It means the world, for real. All right. This is the scene I was talking about where Hopper was covering 11, trying to save his baby, save his child, save the daughter he adopted. And this just looks out of pure desperation. Like, 11's down on the ground next to me, hurt, probably out of power, can't do anything, and is defenseless. I have 2 grenades and probably an AR with no ammo to the right of me. So what I'm going to do is whoever I'm fighting behind me, I'm just going to chuck these grenades behind me, cover 11, and pray for the best. That's what his face tells me in this moment right now, personally. And that also tells me that means both of them in that situation are 100%, 1000% in serious danger. In serious danger. Serious danger. Personally. Like, look at his face. Like, he's like, oh crap, And then and look at 11. Like, she's still alive and everything, but this is the turnbow sign, which is interesting. Oh my god, we gotta go back to that. This is where the scenes go like so fast I can't even stop. Okay. Am I crazy for thinking that at first I thought this was Nancy? 1 in the chat, this is Will. 2 in the chat, this is Nancy. I'm pretty sure it's Will, but I'm not positive. Either way, whoever this is in the picture, they are getting in a trance. Or they are whatever. They're getting in whatever. That's obviously Will. Okay, good. I don't know why it was so hard for me to tell. It's just because I guess I immediately connected that scene to the scene in season 4, when Nancy was going through that. But yeah. So if this is Will, which I think it is, that means that Vecna is gonna be in his mind at some point. Okay, and we know what happened when Nancy got into that point. The whole entire vision and everything of her family dying, Hawkins getting taken over, big monster with a gaping mouth, all of it, right? But we don't know how Will's going to react when he's not in reality. When he's in the Upside Down or when he's in a trance, we don't know how Will's going to be able to react. Is he going to have powers? Is he going to have abilities? Is he going to be different? Is he going to be taking Vecna's side? Who knows, bro? We don't know anything, okay? But regardless, like I said before, every single scene that Will has in this trailer, he's literally traumatized slash getting tortured. Literally in every single scene, he's fainting, he's holding his neck, he's getting freaking put in a trance. I mean, it's incredible in a bad way. All right, let's go back. Fuck. All right here. I think this is Holly in Karen's house, or in her house, I guess, looking at whatever they saw, and this is when her and her mom go to the bathroom to get into the water. That's my prediction. Okay. Number 1, he's in the tunnels. You can see the ridges. He's in the tunnels somewhere. We don't know where, obviously. Number 2, something's lighting up the tunnel. Whether that's fire, Vecna, what else could it be? A gate? It could be anything, right? Number 3, he clearly has a good amount of blood on his shirt. Now, is it his blood? I would lean towards no, because it doesn't look like he's that injured. It kind of looks like low-key. This is going to make everyone depressed in the chat, including myself, just saying it. It kind of looks like someone's head was laying here on his chest, and they were bleeding. That's kind of what it looks like. That's kind of what it looks like, unfortunately. Look behind him. Well, there's nothing really behind him. So this is where I was talking about, like, Murray's clearly driving this truck, and that's the truck that the Demogorgon attacks. Hopefully Robin is not in that truck with Murray when he's driving, because I think that's where Murray dies, or he could die, and I don't want her to die, obviously. But I think Murray's gonna die and should die, personally. All right, this is Steve driving Nancy and Jonathan, which is just hilarious. In the backyard of Hawkins, just running through gates. Incredible. The military in the... a cool shot of the military, by the way, just running through the woods. Nancy protecting 11 with her shotgun. That looks... I don't know whose hand is that, but they're controlling some sort of dial. Wait! Bro, you cannot tell me that doesn't look like the same scene in the mall where the gate was, you know, and they're turning the dials. Doesn't that sort of look like that, or no? You know, when Joyce was like turning the key and Hopper was down there, that and those windows sort of look like that mall down there, you know? That's kind of very interesting. Dang. I don't know whose hand is this, if we had to guess. Could be, I don't know. I don't know. The ring could be Dustin's. It kind of looks like Joyce's to me, but I don't know. Like, we don't know what she wears. Robin? It's Robin? The flannel gives Robin? I don't think this is That's not Dr. Sam. Dude, Dr. Sam Owens is like 65, bro. That is not a 65-year-old hand. No way. No offense to whatever his actor's name is. Who just said Eddie, bro? Dude, imagine. But this is really cool. I think this is going to be an important scene. The tunnels. So this is Mike and the kids that he was protecting like this in the Netflix show, like he was putting his arms out, whatever, protecting the kids. That's him and the kids right here, and they're running through the tunnels. So they're running away from something, which is good. I'm confused by this. Like, what is the purpose of the syringe or the needle or whatever, you know? And Erica has it. Like, what is Erica doing with this, you know? Like, what could she possibly be up to? Obviously, she's a very smart young kid, but does she know what she's doing with this needle, you know? I don't know. Dude, I couldn't even... I couldn't even begin to guess what she's doing here. Yeah, people said putting Will to sleep. But why would Erica be the one to do that? Oh, it could be some sort of trap. Yeah. Like poison for a Demogorgon or something. Damn. I mean, she is smart. It's definitely some sort of concoction to do some sort of mission, you know? Which is cool. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you guys remember me saying this. I don't know when I said it. It was within the last 2 years. I said, Dr. Brenner said that 11 is going to fly, or she will be able to fly when she accesses all of her powers. And I said, I believe that means 11 will literally be able to fly in season 5. I have an entire YouTube video about it. Okay? Hopefully you guys remember me saying that. And then I see this today. Are you effing kidding me? She just effortlessly just jumps over a freaking bus. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. He said you will need to fly. Yes, that's true. The video was 1 year ago. Did you find it? I definitely made a video talking about 11's going to be able to fly. I 100% did. This is flying, bro. That's not just jumping. Like, you could say it's jumping, I guess, a jumping motion, but she's flying in the air. She's literally levitating, floating, whatever. I think it's flying. I'm calling it flying. What episode? I think this is going to be later in the I think all these episodes are like in chronological order. Like in the beginning, it was the beginning of the show, and then at the end, it's going to be the end of the season, you know? It's probably like maybe episode 6. And this is the same location where Will was laying on the ground, all the dead shoulders were. This is probably before the dead shoulders, you know? And the trap door, the doors on the floor, you know, where they were moving or whatever, and there was like claw marks near it. Obviously, a Demogorgon came out, which is just incredible, first off. But the bad part about that is that guess who was in the same vicinity, not just the clueless military members? Joyce, Will laying on the ground, Mike, and all of the kids. And then guess what they're looking at? Oh. I can't do this. Like, they're gonna be... They're gonna be in so much danger, it's not even gonna make any sense. Alright. Vecna looks incredible, by the way. We'll get into that. You found... Or I found you. Whatever he says. Like the scales on him, and he... So someone said he's blocking the fire here. Do you guys... So you guys are saying this is a fireball, and Will like threw a fireball at him because of the, like the first scene in the Stranger Things. It's like Will's like fireball, you know, on the D&D table. You think Will is casting a fireball at Vecna, and Vecna's blocking it? And that's why Will's laying on the ground, because he used all of his energy from his powers. That would be just... God, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Definitely a flamethrower. Will they never finish the campaign in season 1? That's not gonna happen. Can I email you a theory? Yeah, you can email me. I don't care. You can DM me on Twitter and Instagram, guys. If you ever have a theory or anything and want to contact me, I'll try to answer them. All right. Vecna looks incredible, obviously. And that's it. That is the wonderful, beautiful Stranger Things 5 trailer. Absolutely incredible. I think they did a magnificent job. I'm super, 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 super proud to be like one of the biggest creators on the show. I think it's the greatest show of all time. And I think it's going to prove itself in season 5. Even more than it already has. So, all right. I will take some questions that we can talk about. And if you guys are just tuning in the stream and you want to watch the entire breakdown, I just did an hour breakdown. So just go back to the beginning of the stream and just watch through. I tried to answer as little questions as possible going through it, so it's a smooth watch for you guys. But yeah, ask me any questions. Let's chop it up for a bit, and then I'll get out of here. Get out of your guys' hair. Okay. Do you think Mike, Elle, and Will be a trio? No. Do you think Will is going to survive to have a good ending? He's been through so much. I think Will might survive, but I think there's a chance he dies for sure. Who do you think Vecna was talking to when he said, "I found you"? Will. 100%. I don't think they're in the scene where Will jumps from... You guys are typing so fast. Look up. I don't think in a scene where Will jumps from tree to tree, it's a flashback because he dropped the walkie. There was a storm. So you don't think it's him because he dropped the walkie? Interesting. I think it was Will jumping from tree to tree, escaping the Demogorgon. This is not drama. It is trauma. Yo, real. I saw this theory where someone said... Oh, yeah, I already answered that. There's blood shooting from Lucas's back. Are you serious? He has a hole in his chest? All right, man. Pause the questions. We'll come back. I have the chat paused, so I'll get to all your questions. We got to go back and see this. I got it. You got to be kidding me. Oh my God. Oh no. No. I don't think he's bleeding out of his back, and there's definitely not a hole in his chest. I'm not crazy, am I? I think that's a little far-fetched, personally. Or I'm just trying to cope. All right, moving on to the questions. Who is 100% almost dying this season? I think 11 or Will is going to die. One of them, for sure. I think Murray 100% dies, though, if you want like a 100% answer. What up, Mari? How we doing? Do you think Will has hidden powers? I hope to God he does. I have a bad feeling 11 dies. Don't we all? Oh, from the episode Sorcerer. It could be. Dustin crying, Nancy bloody hands, Lucas shirt with blood. I think Mike is gonna die, and he also had to protect his sister and Will. What do you think? He is literally in the military base as well. There's a fantastic possibility. I'm not gonna lie, because I mean he's literally, you know, he's in danger. Like he's near the Demogorgon, he's near Vecna, he's in the line of fire. We can't say it's not possible. This trailer just proved that everyone's in danger. That's just the reality. Are they all going to die? Probably not. Are some of them going to die? Probably. Vecna is able to control the Mind Flayer. What if there's a dragon that will control? I hope. The fireball makes sense. Oh yeah, I already said that. Okay. Will Eddie come back? I don't think so. No. Hopefully in a flashback, though. Dustin and Steve are going to be arguing. Dustin's going to be mad. Then Steve calms down. They hold each other and start crying for days. Don't get me started. In season 4, during the first earthquake, when Eddie, Robin, and Nancy and Steve went to the Upside Down, there was a huge war that sounded like either a three-headed dragon or a bigger bat. Ross Duffer said nothing from episode 7 or 8 has been shown. Damn. Did he actually say that? Where did he say that? Oh my God. By their endgame, not a chance. Flush it down the drain. Flush your dreams down the drain. You can still fantasize about it and, you know, talk about it with your friends, but it's not happening. Sorry. Mike or Will or Ella have to die. I think, yeah, one of them. I think one of them. I don't know if one of them has to die. I think one of them will die, though. Do you think Holly is safe? Yes, I do. I do think she's safe. I don't know, though. Do you think there'll be time traveling elements? No. Do you think there'll be a new creature? Probably. 8 is definitely not coming back. I don't know, dude. I mean, she could come back in like the last episode, and he said that there's nothing from episode 7 or 8, you know? She could like make that last second return and like save 11 or sacrifice herself or something, you know what I'm saying? Could be something like that. I think Treatum was Will. It's 11, I'm sure. Oh my God, depending on Max, I hope she doesn't die. Is Ted Wheeler safe? Honestly, I hope not. I hope he dies. All right, guys, I'm exhausted. I've been filming for 6 hours now straight. My throat hurts, everything. We did an hour stream. We averaged 300 viewers pretty much the entire time. We hit 200 likes. Like I said, if you guys want to see the entire breakdown, I have a breakdown on my channel on a video, and then this entire stream was a breakdown for 57 minutes. So go back to the beginning of the stream, watch it. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. Make sure to drop like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and most importantly, just have a great rest of your day. And I will be making more videos and theories about this. If you guys have any theories you want to send me, DM me on Twitter or Instagram. And I love all you guys. Have a great day. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right? Peace out, everyone. Appreciate you all. Peace, peace, peace.